Hey, what up guys, back with some Empires of the Undergrowth. Today, we're just going to be doing a little bit more of grinding levels, and then we're going to end up doing the Formicarium challenge. I really just want to, get things done through with you, kind of go over it again in case you're new to this series. It's only episode 3, so you're really not all that far behind. Yeah, last episode we ended up getting New Home with the challenge mode, and then we beat Subjugation. Now we're going to do Subjugation with the challenge mode on, and that way we can really start to progress things. The rotten log. It's actually quite interesting that they have those little names there. But yeah, see, we'll just start with here, and yeah, we're just gonna go from here. You start with automatically getting all that all dug out. Well, probably a little less than that, but get all that so we can get the workers. That's a lot of our strategy. If you want to know like the full, more in-depth strategy, go to episode 2. I'll try to link it in the description. But yeah, we're gonna get food here, just to make sure that we have food storage, which is going to be really nice, especially if this ends up going into later waves. Okay, so now we've gotten a bunch of workers. We're just getting them like kind of mostly started. We're gonna get things a little bit dug out just for like pre-planning, nothing too special about it. We dug out the area for where the soldiers are eventually gonna be. We're not done getting workers yet. We still need to upgrade, but we're gonna get there soon enough anyways. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna end up getting this quick and easy one, just only having the food gathering on, making sure that we don't lose or waste our time trying to fight them with our workers, which won't do a whole lot of damage. And we get pretty much, yeah, we get like only lose one piece, that's about fine. And then we're gonna do this one. So it's a lot of the strategies, if you're new here still, and you didn't decide to go to the other video. We don't end up killing the spiders because that triggers the slave maker ants to end up trying to take all of our eggs, which taking all of our eggs will drastically decrease our ability to survive. Unfortunately, we were really sloppy with that one. Really sloppy. I don't know why I'm continuing to go this way, but whatever. It's fine. Probably. We didn't really have very good flow through there. Probably gonna end up not getting all of it on this one either. But it is what it is. Alrighty, we're just getting some more workers. Oh, actually, you know what? Wow, completely late reaction time verbally there. I reacted really quickly to the smoke. But yeah, this smoke means that there's a Molker coming. We're gonna end up just fighting it off with the workers. It's gonna take a lot more losses than I'd like, but we at least have higher level workers, so we should be able to take it down relatively quickly. And it's just a mole cricket, so as long as it doesn't take out like 10 of my workers, it'll be a gain in food, technically speaking. But yeah, I don't think it's going to end up managing that. We're just going to get food. Bam. And we can continue to work on that next spider. And let's just go from there. Yeah, see. This one, we're going to, I don't know, we might try to go for that other area. Definitely not the 3, but we could try going for those ones behind the spider we just went to. Once again, being very sloppy. Wow. This run was not very great. We're probably going to end up losing this, but truthfully, I don't feel like restarting, especially because restarting gets you very little resources if you quit. So I'd rather at least just die and get as many resources as I can from it. And this just proves that impossible difficulty, if you make mistakes, it's going to happen. But yeah, this one seems like we're going to end up getting majority, if not all of the food. That's very strong for you to get, actually getting it all. And then we actually have soldiers now, so that's really nice. So now we're going to end up going to try to kill the spider, just so we can get the top here. We can end up taking out all of that stuff down there, and take out the Devil's Coach Horse just to make sure that we end up not losing a bunch of our units. We're going to see how good we can do with this. We don't have a lot of soldiers, which isn't very nice, and they're very far away to respawn, so there's not a lot of good stuff there. And that might have actually been a mistake thinking about, yeah, actually it looks like we're kind of losing. See, I think that was a little bit of a mistake on my part, because it probably is another thing that's going to end up making it a bad run. but it is what it is.
A sanguinious scout has sensed the presence of the
Oh,
blue
and
class.
the
A
first
raid on the
scout has come.
colony is now inevitable.
So yeah, we really just need
My
to get as
family
many
owns a
soldiers as we
smattering
can,
of
as
the
fast as we
intelligent
can.
generation of young, or white.
And so yeah, things are going well. You know, we got all that. They took one of our eggs in the
The
thing, but it's
colony
okay.
is
Oh,
starving.
oh
There
no,
is
oh
not
no.
enough food to
Um,
feed
um,
the new
um.
brood.
Yeah, I don't think that's
The
very
queen
good.
is
They're
in
attacking
imminent
our queen.
danger.
3 mistakes on impossible difficulty. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. We're just gonna end up not dying, I think. I mean, we have enough workers and soldiers at this point that even if we're splitting up damage, we're gonna end up actually out damaging them way too much for us to be at a negative gain of food. We're gonna kill them either way. It's just whether it's a positive food game. And then the first raid is coming. So yeah, this level with the challenge mode on is very fast paced for how simple it seems. But yeah, we're just gonna try to get as much food as we can before the next wave, because every wave is gonna just drastically make us so much weaker. And we're gonna wait for it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're gonna come in with their attackers, and then
The
there's
raiding
egg
party has
stealers.
arrived. The slave makers
You
will
really want them
exterminate
to
the
not
brood
steal your
keepers.
eggs, because that
They
means you
must be
can't
stopped.
repopulate, and not being able to repopulate means that you're just gone. You're not going to be able to do anything. But yeah, those soldiers, once they get level 2 or 3 for the slave makers, they're just so tanky, and they actually do a lot of damage. Yes, now we're going to end up going for the spider over there that's still there. And we can actually get a lot more
The
value, I
raiding
think,
party
from
was no
going
match for
after
the
to the
valiant
left side here.
defenders. The brood remains safe for now.
And almost killing the spider on that one, and then bam. See, it shouldn't take long from here. Yeah, we just open this up, and then we're going to end up fighting the Devil's Coach Horse, getting a couple more soldiers. Take that out a little bit. We're losing workers and stuff to that, which sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, now we're going to try to fight the spiders there. We should be able to really take them out really quickly now that we have our stuff huddled up. Yep, they're gone. We take the food, and we have another raid coming. And a mole
Is
cricket.
burrowing
That
into the
sucks.
nest. The
Yeah, just dealing with the mole cricket, but it's very quickly going to be outweighed by the fact that there is slave makers coming. So we're not even going to turn on food harvesting. We're
The
just going to kind of
Sanguinia
try to fight
colony
them.
seeks once again to bolster its numbers. A battalion of slave makers charge into the nest.
Instantly coming in, and they're escaping with an egg. That's sucky. Now, trying to do this without having any of your eggs stolen is actually relatively hard, but I mean, I have the achievement. It's just kind of not nice. But we're gonna end up trying to hopefully
The
split.
raiding
Yeah, we're gonna
party is
split these
left,
two
and
groups
with them they have
just to make
taken
sure we can get all the
10%
food
of the
around.
black ant brood.
It's definitely a big waste on my
The
part.
danger may be gone for now,
Definitely, I don't think
but
we're gonna
this
try to go for the
truce is
3. We've
merely
got all that food
formality.
over there to try to
The
get.
Sanguini are already
We're gonna
planning their
clean this
next
up really quick.
onslaught.
Okay, so now we're actually gonna try something new. Trying to split up the soldiers and workers between 2 things to try to kill all the spiders. I already think this run's a little bit ruined anyways, so we might as well just try to do his newer strategies to see if things work. Seems to be the soldiers are having an easy time. The workers kind of lost a little bit, but it is what it is, I guess. And then we have the next raid coming. Yeah, we have everything huddled up. Upgrade the soldiers. We're a little bit more than halfway done. Fortunately, these waves are getting much, much bigger.
Mole crickets are burrowing into the
And
nest.
then there's mole
The ants
crickets
must
right away
defend in
after, and
multiple
we have no
locations at
food.
once.
We're in a great spot here. Just great spot. We're gonna end up beating the slave makers, I believe, just with high numbers and good levels. But those mole crickets are gonna really
The
ruin
colony is
us.
starving. There is not enough food to feed the new brood.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage. Or they have a
The
lot of
raiding party
HP
was
too,
no
I
match for
guess.
the valiant defenders.
Considering the
The brood
size of
remains
them,
safe
they've got a lot of
for now.
HP. They're smaller than a Devil's Coach Horse adult, and those have actually relative HP. But yeah, they're just the. Yeah, we're gonna end up going for the next one once we can. Hey, if you guys are still watching, thank you. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, back to the video.
Predators are loose in the
Actually,
east.
no, yeah,
The
right here,
larvae
right now.
must be protected.
Yeah, we're just gonna go for that spider. Bam. And then there's another raid. Golly. You know what? Whatever. We're just gonna, yeah, we're gonna try to kill the worms, and then hopefully go from there. Hopefully we'll have enough for the next raid, because actually we're very low on food right now. Yeah, they definitely give us enough. We gotta make sure we're using enough to upgrade, but we're also not using too much so that we don't have food. Because if we don't have enough food to replenish losses, we're just kind of dead. 80 might be enough, it might not. But we've got a lot of upgraded soldiers. Oh, never mind. We have a bunch of extra food too. And they're grabbing a lot of eggs. Are they going to get through with one? Yeah, they're going to get through with 2. Shame. Oh, and we're out of food. That's not great. That's not great at all. We're ended up beating them. We ended up beating them, so we're good. And then we have the mole cricket. We're gonna have the soldiers go after the mole cricket. We lost 2 eggs, which is not great because those are our queen's eggs spots. So that now we can't. If we lose them, we can't replenish them, and they're the most important because they replace all the eggs here. But now we have a lot of food. We're actually very close to winning. We just need 1 good point, and we can end up winning. I think if we just take out these 2 and then maybe try taking out a triple, we'll be in a really good spot and we could probably end up winning. But yeah, we definitely tried a couple things. I think I've learned a couple lessons though. And we have another raid we have to deal with. Not the greatest. Not the greatest at all. But most those spiders are actually already almost dead. Yeah, and we take their food. Okay, we have everything spawned back in. We have all the eggs replenished, I believe, but we just don't have enough to upgrade all of them. We're probably just going to keep our food high. And actually, we need more soldier tiles anyways to deal more, or to get more levels. The thing with leveling is that it actually costs less food. Not in the base cost, because it's still the same cost as the tile itself to upgrade it. However, you don't have to deal with having a new egg and having to continuously replenish that egg. That's why upgrading can be very strong in Subjugation, but there's that. Oh, we're very close to death here. Okay, we ended up beating them, but now we have a bunch of the mole crickets to deal with, and there's not a whole lot of way for us to do that. We're gonna have to keep the workers down in the bottom. No, we're keeping them in the top. Never mind. We'll just let that one. No, it's too close. The workers are already fighting one of them, so it's fine. Yeah, we lost a lot of eggs there for it being losing eggs. We're gonna try to clean up this and going after a new thing. Okay, we're already almost to another raid, and we have to end up killing 2 spiders. Yeah, we're not in a good spot at all. I think this is definitely a losing run, but this is proof that you can get very close, because we're very close right now, but I just don't think we're going to have the...
There is no respite from the
Going very well, as you can see. I'm not sure if we're going to end up surviving this. Oh, everything's just kind of dead. Yeah, they're coming through and they're just pillaging everything. Okay. That's nice. We don't have eggs, we don't have soldiers. Yeah, this is definitely a lost run. Because we still have soldiers to get. It's not even like if we survive this that we're gonna end up actually winning.
The ants must mount a defense quickly, or their brood will be forfeit.
Yeah, oh, that's a lot of red. Yeah, we did this very poorly, and we're actually kind of winning, surprisingly. I did put the workers on and better on the Queen's Brood Chambers, just so it ends up getting more eggs out. That is a strategy you can use. I'm gonna end up having all the workers try to get more food. If we could try to survive long enough to be able to end up having enough eggs, or I mean like levels in our soldiers, then we'll have enough to be able to hopefully survive. But yeah, the waves come in just sooner and sooner. We're out of food. We can try killing that spider, I suppose. But I think we're dead here, even though we have to survive the final wave. I don't think this is survivable. We might have the food for it, but we don't have the queen health, and we don't have the ability to replenish eggs fast enough. Because, yeah, they're already coming. We don't even have the ability to replenish our eggs.
They can sense larvae, and they want their share.
So we're gonna, yeah, we're just dead. We're gonna have everything come back, which is fine and dandy. But we're just dead.
Are burrowing into the nest. The ants must
Yeah, they're all gonna go after the queen and we're dead. Golly. Yeah, kind of just gone. We're gonna run that back and try to actually do it good this time. Okay, yeah, just starting over again, really. Nothing too much different, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll pretty much just skip anything that we wouldn't have already done. Got the workers already. Gonna try to get some more eggs by placing a pheromone on it and getting more food. Something you can do, if you place a pheromone of workers over a worker tiles, they'll actually work on trying to specifically put eggs in those tiles, which is really interesting. They added that months ago, but you know, for this game, it's relatively recently. Okay, now we're just going for this one. Once again, we're gonna try to do a little bit better. And actually, what I'm doing is I'm going for having the 7 workers from the Queen's Chamber go in there as well to get even more food. We might end up losing a couple more workers, but if we just get a couple more of the foods, yeah, we should be able to survive that and end up doing better. Okay, doing the next one. Once again, same strategy. So this is why we learn, and that's why I showed you the failed attempt, because really it's about learning to get good at a lot of games like this and testing out. Like, I'm playing on impossible difficulty already, which I'm already good. I have a couple good 100 hours and honestly probably more hours watching content than playing. So from there I'm already pretty good, but obviously we all fail. We all aren't the best. I'm sure there's actually quite a lot of levels I am not able to do on impossible anymore. But yeah, we're just rallying up for this next one. And bam. For this one, actually, I'm deciding not to do the workers, the queen's workers. We should be able to get everything, or almost of everything. Oh, ooh, all but one. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, all but one, I believe. And then we have the mole cricket coming. We have all the workers ready, so we're just going to get king soldiers. And we're not going to do the mistake that we did last time of going left all the way, at least. We'll probably get the spider, but we'll try to go all the way left. And then the extra food is actually getting us soldiers sooner. So we're going to be able to come back even stronger. Once again, going through and just defeating the mole cricket and then trying to get ready for the spiders. That we're going to end up doing very quickly. Now we got it all opened up, and now we're just going to go for that one. Yeah, it's definitely going much better this time. Yeah, we pretty much got everything done. We almost have all of the food. In fact, we're probably going to end up just going for the next spider and then trying to go back there, maybe? That doesn't sound like a horrible idea to me. Scan, going through. Just going to open it up and get all of the food. So I've made a major choice and decision and choice. We're not going to go to the left or at all. We're going to end up going right, and we're just killing that spider. And then we're going to end up killing this one up here, and then we're going to try to get all of the worms. Therefore, we can get a lot of food for free. Be even stronger when we do stuff. Okay, well, we have the first unkillable soldier if the slave maker's coming, and then we have the mole crickets coming. We're going to quickly deal with those. And then, yeah, it'll be pretty much just easy from there and getting all of those maggot food. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to go for this spider on the left here. This will be really nice and easy, much better than going on the top side first. It'll allow us to get a lot easier food with having to deal with less enemies. So we simply just have fighting only on. We end up taking out the Devil's Coach Horse, and then we'll end up fighting the spiders, hopefully getting them, yeah, dead, and then dead. And now we can end up killing the wood lice, and then taking the food from there. Although we actually need to deal with the raids, let's turn off food. I mean fighting. Hopefully we end up having enough soldiers ready.
The raiding party has arrived.
There we go.
The
We
slave
should have
makers
enough to
have
stop
strengthened
them.
the brood chambers. They must be stopped.
Fortunately, though, we didn't have things perfectly set up. Well, yeah, looks like it's not going horrible for us. Okay, now we're gonna end up going through probably the top here, just to get all of the food and stuff. Although we do have to deal with the mole cricket. Then we're gonna have the workers fight that. So yeah, they're pretty quickly here. We're gonna end up having our stuff in the top left, I believe. Hopefully. We only ended up actually just finishing that mole cricket when we ended up having the next raid start, or getting close to starting. So we're gonna end up fighting the wave, and then we're gonna go for all that food, and that hopefully should be able to finish us off and being able to get all of the soldiers ready. And hopefully we don't lose too much food here. There isn't a lot of the enemy soldiers yet for them to kill us. And then we can just go straight for that spider. Suggestia Florentina, I believe. Something like that. End up taking all that and then not getting any of the food, probably. Because we don't want to pick up the food of the worms when we have all of the Devil's Coach Horse to kill. And from there, actually, it's kind of interesting. They have some of them stay and then they slowly come out. You know, just like that one. And we have the mole cricket to deal with, and then we also have all of the subjugator slave makers coming in, and we're almost on the last wave. So close. But they're probably going to end up stealing a couple eggs, which is fine, really, because all it's going to end up really being is just nest eggs, and it's not the end of the world when it's only like wave 2 or 3 or whatever, maybe 4. Although it is kind of dicey right now. We don't have a whole lot of workers doing stuff. Mostly because the workers are fighting the mole crickets. We do have a lot of food though. I'm probably going to just go down here because that'll give us a lot of food. Yeah, I pretty much just going and getting these guys, having food turned off. It's nice is you can go for one spider at a time instead of having both kill you at the same time, which makes you significantly stronger when it comes to trying to have your forces not drawn out, which is why they tend to get a whole lot of kills despite the fact that they're one kill at a time, take a bunch of time in between killing. They're honestly probably one of the most tame enemies for you to fight in this game, simply because all they are is a little bit creepy. We should have enough upgrades and now we can survive the final wave. And here we go. Nice and quick, I guess. Hopefully quick. Shouldn't take us too long. We're going to have just kind of some of them kind of have themselves get murked just so we can have eggs not be a priority for us to try to save, even though we're probably going to survive either way. We need to end up killing them, or killing the extras, because anything that spawns back is going to end up trying to fight a bunch of enemies that are going to be stupid to fight anyway, so if we deal with all of them right away, we'll be in a good spot. We don't have to kill the mole cricket. Once we survive the raid, we shouldn't have to kill it. Yeah, there we go. So there, we win. So now we got all the food that we're going to end up getting. We're probably going to end up using it just to upgrade stuff. And then from here, we should just be able to either A, play some more levels, and I'll probably do that off camera, or we'll end up just going off and fighting the boss. Or, I mean, not the Formicarium challenge. And we'll add a new group of ants. Or, no, we could probably do that, and then, yeah, I'll have it done when I come back. Once again, I'll let you guys choose between the different abilities, the queen and the black ant soldiers. I'll have the exploding ants and termites done when I can. But yeah, once you guys choose, you can have whatever you want with it. Just comment down below. Yeah. Okay, we pretty much have everything done. I'm gonna have to do a couple more different runs off camera, but yeah, that'll be about all of it is. Okay, so now we're gonna do the Formicarium challenge. It's actually not all that bad, especially on the first one. The first one's really tame. play on possible difficulty, you know. It's really not all that hard.
I think it is time we connected the outworld to the feeder colonies. I want to see how these eruptors respond under pressure.
I will prepare the experiment.
Yeah, the scientists kind of just talk for a while, and then they end up.
Let's begin with a small threat.
Connecting the Fusca colony now. I will let 10 through to start with.
Yeah, they just kind of talk, and then they start with a couple small threats. And then hopefully you guys get to see what the special stuff is. It's very, very interesting what happens if you guys haven't seen anything on this game.
Responded very quickly.
Excellent. Let's see how they handle a few more, shall we?
Although this seems to be the most views that I
Introducing
get
Fusca ants.
is on my Empires of the Undergrowth videos, or at least the first one. Got it like the most, minus my first short, but it's really not that crazy to get as many views as I did. And it's shorts, you tend to get more.
Our eruptors have neutralized the threat to their queen.
Good. Continue the experiment and let me know the results. Don't add more than 30 ants at once, though. We don't want to harm the queen.
Understood.
Yeah.
I wonder how they will react to a rival eruptor colony.
Ooh.
Introducing 40 rival eruptor ants.
See, he's very fair. He did only 10 more than what the female one said. I think it's Scientist 1. Scientist 2 is the experimenter. I could probably just look at the screen when it... Yeah, Scientist 2. I could probably just look at the screen. But yeah, it's really not all that much.
A further 50 rival eruptor ants.
See, it's less fair, but you know, 50, it's only 20 more than what she suggested. Mind you, I'm saying this casually. I know a lot what's going to happen if you guys don't know, and oh boy, is this just like nothing. Even with me being significantly weaker, this is just far, far easier than what he does in the later stuff.
Fascinating. Now let's try 60 eruptor ants.
Okay, it's starting to get somewhere. 60's, you know, a bigger number. Yeah, once again, this is kind of just a little showing of my entire thing. It's really not all that much, just a bunch of workers and then a bunch of black ants. Really not worth it to try to get the exploding stuff because it's so much royal jelly.
Response.
Yes, a superb response. And then for the first Formicarium challenges, you get seeds.
Perhaps a small reward. Look to the surface.
Yeah, small reward, he says. To be fair, I'm pretty sure I'm not even going to end up using the amount of food in total of all my losses
What about
from that food.
a combination of eruptor and Fusca? Let's start with 20 of each.
Splitting up your forces does not do much. Just use the biggest group you have if you have a biggest one. And then have another group that's probably also bigger than the third. That's how I do it. I have one big group, a medium group, and a small group. Small group just goes to the eruptor workers.
It's interesting to see the colony fight on two fronts. Perhaps we should try 30 of each.
Hey, it's only 60 total. It's between the max eruptor and the other one, so it's still somewhat fair. Hopefully you guys like this part, actually. I'm doing this like pretty much all at once without editing or anything. Or at least I'm going to try to. I don't really want to
Magnificent. Once again, our eruptors triumph.
ruin any of the Formicarium challenges, so I'm going to try to do them all legitimately.
Some seeds on the surface for my succeeding eruptors. Gather them quickly.
Something I am definitely going to be try doing is having no enemies enter my nest. That is a challenge I've pretty much always tried doing. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. By the way, I really love the music for the Formicarium challenges. Just take a listen. Yeah, and I was checking my achievements there too. Actually, for the number, where's the second? Where's the second? Right there. Yeah, this one actually has the achievement
Colony's
for it.
ability to withstand such overwhelming assaults is incredible. I wonder, how will they handle a sustained flow of aggressors?
This is where it actually is fun. I like having to deal with the sustained flow because it's the first time you actually feel challenged. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to deal with a ton of enemies. It's really not that bad, but having to do that is kind of not nice. But yeah, what I do is I just have the first big group end up going against the black ants as they slowly come. They'll eventually all die, and then I have the blue group, the smallest one, go after the Eruptor workers because they're pretty much never going to die. And then I have a second group that's there just for what happens next. And I'm going to have, yep.
Let's make things a little more interesting, shall we? Enter the Devil's Coach Horse.
Yeah, he gets pretty angry. Oh, no, 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 don't enter, don't enter. Okay, okay, okay. Phew. Yeah, the only problem is when the enemy black ants end up coming out through there, and you just have to hope that you can end up repelling them with the group 2 and 1, which very quickly you will. If you have, you'll simply have more.
I seem to have dropped my beetles. I hope they don't harm the little ants.
Now, the beetles will hurt us if we don't stop them, but once again, if you have the actual upgrades, you should also be able to actually do much better. Black ants are actually fairly strong once you get their upgrades, especially if you increase their or decrease their physical resistance or increase it 50% reduced damage. Like, that's a black ant that's surviving twice as long. But yeah, that's just up to me. You guys can go for the, I think it's either more damage or even more attack speed, which at level 3 that is a black ant's thing to actually attack faster. So we could have very fast attacking relative damaging units. And we're going to be using them for a little while.
How has the colony been responding?
They mounted an excellent defense against 20, 25, and even 30 Fuska ants, as you suggested.
Perfect. Perhaps we can provide more of a challenge for them next time.
What a fantastic suggestion.
And he plays dumb. But yes, this will be about what this episode is. You just get a bunch of food, and then we're also going to add the next ant species. To recap, we have the...
Let's see how the colony grows over the next few days.
Now that they have experienced battle, I expect to see a significant rise in the number of soldiers.
So one, we're going to upgrade the workers, but two, just to go over, there is the Eruptor workers, that is the generic unit, and it's kind of bad. But now we have the Rufa, Formica, which is the different ranged units, which I choose more or rapid fire most of the time, but mortar is pretty good. Single target damage, at some point splash damage if you upgrade them to level 3. However, rapid fire I think is just better, even though mortar has its big capabilities. But yes, rapid fire just it's so much better. So yeah, you do make that choice, and you'll make that choice with a lot of other things. Personally, I choose high pressure over corrosive, and then I choose crippling over weakening because physical damage is mostly what you're gonna do rather than venom damage. But then yeah, upgrading it to level 3, and I'm gonna build a new section for it, probably up in here. This will pretty much just be what we're gonna use to stage our next Formicarium challenge. I will likely end up going out and doing the other levels and trying to just do them in all 4 modes. I'll have more than enough food though, although having food stored I believe does get you extra royal jelly when you end up finishing it's either the second or the third, or well, I guess I think it's after the second and then after each and every one.
Incredible. I wasn't sure it was even possible.
And now we have the Formica. Upgrade them all, and then yeah, that'll pretty much be it all. Yeah, we pretty much have everything upgraded. So we are going to actually have to do a couple levels where we have less food than I thought we would. But yeah, hopefully you guys can see the Formica. They're interesting, especially because with the blue. I'm glad I chose the blue. Not only is it just really unique in nature and just in general, or it's cool in general to me, but having the blue just looks really cool. They look like I don't know, they look like really strong ants, especially with that red, more like tint, more like fire ants in a way, which may or may not be a species we either A, encounter, or B, maybe even use. Who knows? But yeah, have a good day, all.